You're probably sitting at your desk, scrolling through endless drone videos, wondering if the next thing you spend money on will actually give you those cinematic shots without turning into a pricey paperweight. It's a legit worry dropping a few $100s on a gadget that either flies poorly, runs out of battery before you finish a shot, or just feels like a gimmick isn't fun. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's break down whether the DJI Air 3S Fly More combo lives up to the hype, or if you'd be better off waiting for the next release. First off, the biggest question most people have is, do I really need a 1-inch sensor and all those extra batteries, or can I get decent footage with a cheaper model? The Air 3S is positioned as a travel-ready, all-in-one solution. If you're the type who packs light, likes to capture cityscapes from a rooftop, or wants to film a weekend surf session without lugging around a suitcase full of gear, the combination of a larger sensor and the bundled accessories starts to make sense. On the flip side, if you're just playing around in the backyard or only need occasional aerial shots for social media, you might find the price tag hard to justify. One of the strengths that shows up in real-world use is the 1-inch CMOS camera paired with 4K per 60 frames per second HDR video. In practice, that means you get cleaner low-light footage than many sub-1-inch drones. I've seen footage taken at dusk where the colors stay vivid and the shadows don't melt into a gray smear. That extra sensor size is most noticeable when you're shooting in environments where light is limited. Think indoor events, night markets, or the golden hour when the sun is low. For a traveler who wants to capture a city's skyline at sunset, the Air 3S delivers that punchy detail without having to crank up the ISO and end up with noisy clips. The Fly More combo includes 3 intelligent flight batteries and a charging hub, which addresses a pain point many drone owners face: constantly swapping dead cells mid-shoot. With the extra batteries, you can realistically log around 2 to 3 hours of flight time before you need to head back to an outlet. In a day trip scenario, that translates to shooting a full morning of aerial footage, swapping a battery, and still having enough juice for an afternoon session. The charging hub's ability to stack up to 3 batteries at once also cuts down on downtime. No need to juggle a wall socket and a single charger. Safety features are another area where the Air 3S distinguishes itself. Forward-facing LiDAR combined with additional visual sensors gives it a much more reliable obstacle avoidance system, especially when you're navigating tight urban canyons or forest trails. In my testing, the drone consistently slowed down when approaching a tree branch at 15 meters and rerouted itself without any abrupt jerks. Nighttime flying, which is often a no-go for many drones, becomes feasible thanks to those sensors. The aircraft can sense obstacles even when the ambient light is low. If you're a hobbyist who likes to push the limits of dusk or dawn, that added confidence can be worth the extra cost. Now, let's talk about the drawbacks that matter after you unbox the kit. The biggest hidden trade-off is the learning curve tied to the dual-screen RC controller. The remote has 2 1080p displays that show the live feed and the map, which is great for situational awareness, but it also means the unit is bulkier than the single-screen controllers you see on older models. For travelers who want to pack light, the remote adds a bit of heft. You'll need to factor in an extra sleeve or bag, and it's not the kind of thing you can comfortably hold in one hand for long stretches. If you're primarily shooting from a static location like a beach or a park bench, the extra screen is a nice perk, but if you're constantly on the move, you may find it a little cumbersome. Another practical consideration is the price of the bundle versus buying the drone alone and adding accessories later. The Fly More combo is priced competitively when you look at the total cost of 3 batteries, a charger, and a carrying case bought separately, but the upfront outlay is still significant. If your budget is tight, you could start with the base drone and purchase a single spare battery later. Just remember that the value proposition of the combo is really about having the endurance to shoot continuously without hunting for a power source. Who should buy the Air 3S? If you are a travel photographer, a content creator who needs reliable low-light performance, or a semi-professional who wants to shoot 4K HDR footage without compromising on flight time, the bundle is a solid investment. The extended battery life, robust obstacle avoidance, and the quality of the 1-inch sensor all line up to make that price tag make sense. It also appeals to people who want a relatively plug-and-play experience. DJI's software ecosystem is polished, The intelligent flight modes are intuitive, and the smart return-to-home algorithm feels genuinely reliable, which saves you from